Right, listen up because this is important. Cars, they've changed everything. Not just a little bit, but in ways that are almost unimaginable. Utterly transformed the world, mate. Used to be you wanted to go somewhere, you saddled up a horse, prayed it didn't kick you in the cobblers, and off you trotted. It was a slow, arduous journey, and you were at the mercy of the elements, slow, smelly, and about as comfortable as a saddle sore. Imagine travelling for days just to get to the next town over. It was a different world back then, but then came the car, a revolutionary invention that would change the course of history. The idea of a horseless carriage had been kicking around for a while. People dreamed of a machine that could move on its own without the need for horses. Inventors, bless their cotton socks, were tinkering away in sheds and workshops. They were visionaries working tirelessly to bring this dream to life, trying to find a way to replace the humble horse with something a bit more, exciting. They experimented with steam, electricity, and eventually the internal combustion engine. And by Jove, they did it. They created machines that could move on their own, paving the way for the modern automobile. Early cars were a right mess, mind you. They were noisy, smelly, and prone to breaking down, rough around the edges, unreliable as a politician's promise. But they represented the beginning of a new era. But they were the start of something big, something that would change the world forever. From these humble beginnings, the automobile would evolve into one of the most important inventions in human history, shaping the way we live, work, and travel. Now, the first cars, they weren't powered by petrol. No, that came later. These early machines were all about steam. Big, clunky boilers, hissing and spitting steam like a kettle on overdrive. One of the first self-propelled vehicles was created by Nicolas Joseph Cugnot back in the 1700s. His contraption was basically a massive steam-powered tricycle. Slow as a wet week it was, but it proved a point. You could move a vehicle without a horse. Of course, these early steam cars had their downsides. They were slow to get going, needed constant refilling with water, and scared the living daylights out of horses. Not exactly ideal, was it? But then, in 1886, a German fella named Carl Benz came along and changed everything. This bloke, he was a genius. He invented the first practical gasoline-powered automobile, the Benz Patent Motorwagen, they called it.
This wasn't some clunky steam-powered contraption. This was a proper motor car. Internal combustion engine, 3 wheels, and a top speed of about 10 miles per hour. It was revolutionary.
Benz's invention sparked a revolution. Suddenly, everyone and their dog wanted a piece of the automotive action. New manufacturers popped up left, right, and centre. The race was on to build faster, more powerful, and more reliable cars. Now, while Benz might have invented the first practical car, his creation was just the beginning of a revolution. It was an American who truly brought it to the masses, transforming the automobile from a luxury item into a staple of everyday life. Henry Ford, a name you can't ignore when talking about cars, was the mastermind behind this transformation. His Model T, launched in 1908, was a game changer, not just for its design, but for its accessibility.
See, I had this crazy idea, mass production. I wanted to make cars affordable for the average person. We built huge factories with assembly lines, a concept that was revolutionary at the time. Each worker had a specific job, putting together the same part over and over again, which increased efficiency and reduced costs. It was like a well-oiled machine, churning out Model Ts faster than you could say Tin Lizzie. The speed and efficiency were unprecedented.
And the price? That was the real stroke of genius. By building cars on such a massive scale, Ford could sell them at a price ordinary people could afford, making the dream of car ownership a reality for many. The assembly line not only sped up production, but also brought down costs significantly. The car was no longer a plaything of the rich. It was for everyone, changing the landscape of transportation forever. Section 5, the Roaring Twenties. V8 engines and electric starters. The early 20th century was a time of incredible innovation in the automotive world. Cars were getting faster, more powerful, and more luxurious. The Roaring Twenties, they called it, and roar they did. One of the biggest advancements was the development of the V8 engine. More cylinders meant more power, and boy did those V8s pack a punch. Cadillac, they were one of the first to embrace the V8, and their cars became known for their power and performance. And then there was the invention of the electric starter. No more cranking the engine by hand, risking a broken arm in the process. Just turn a key and the engine roared to life. Luxury. Section 6. Wartime innovation, post-war prosperity Jeeps and chrome. The Second World War, as awful as it was, actually led to some significant advancements in car technology. The need for tough, go-anywhere vehicles led to the development of the Jeep. And the focus on aircraft technology had a knock-on effect on car design, with more aerodynamic shapes and lighter materials being used. After the war, there was a car boom. People were flush with cash and eager for a bit of freedom and excitement. American car manufacturers, they responded in style. Big, brash cars with tail fins, chrome bumpers, and enough horsepower to power a small city. Section 7. From muscle cars to safety belts, the golden age of motoring. The 1950s and 60s, they were the golden age of motoring. It was a time when the open road called to the adventurous spirit in everyone. Cars were more than just transport. They were a statement, a reflection of one's personality and aspirations, a symbol of freedom, style and rebellion. The car you drove said a lot about who you were and where you were going. Muscle cars, they ruled the roads. Chevrolet Corvettes, Ford Mustangs and Dodge Chargers, these were the cars that dreams were made of. They were powerful, fast and undeniably cool. Dodge Chargers, these were the cars that dreams were made of. Their roaring engines and sleek designs captured the imagination of a generation. But it wasn't just about power and speed. The thrill of the drive was matched by the innovation under the hood. Safety features started to appear as well. Seat belts became standard, crumple zones were introduced, and dashboards were padded. These advancements made driving not only exhilarating but also safer. European and Japanese manufacturers, they were also making their mark. They brought a different flavour to the automotive world, focusing on efficiency and reliability. Volkswagen's Beetle became a global icon, known for its unique design and practicality. It was a car that could be seen everywhere, from bustling cities to quiet countryside roads. While Japanese brands like Toyota and Datsun started to make inroads into the American market with their reliable and affordable cars. These brands laid the foundation for the diverse automotive landscape we see today, proving that quality and affordability could go hand in hand. Section 8. The oil crisis and its aftermath. Smaller cars, smarter engines. The 1970s brought a rude awakening. The oil crisis hit, fuel prices skyrocketed, and those gas-guzzling behemoths suddenly didn't seem so appealing. People wanted smaller, more fuel-efficient cars. Japanese manufacturers, with their experience in building smaller, more economical cars, were perfectly positioned to capitalize on this shift in demand. Toyota's Corolla and Honda's Civic became bestsellers. American manufacturers, they had to adapt quickly, and they started to produce smaller, more fuel-efficient models. Section 9. The rise of the electric car, a new era of automotive innovation. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, concerns about climate change and air pollution led to renewed interest in electric cars. Early electric cars, they were a bit, well, let's just say they weren't exactly known for their performance or range. But technology, it moves on, doesn't it?
And then came Tesla. Elon Musk, the man behind Tesla, he had a vision. He wanted to build electric cars that were not just good for the environment, but were actually desirable. And he succeeded. Tesla's cars, they were fast, stylish, and had a decent range. They proved that electric cars could be more than just boring, eco-friendly boxes on wheels.
Section 10. The future of driving, self-driving cars, AI and beyond. So, where are we headed? What's the future of the car? Well, it's looking pretty exciting, I can tell you that. Electric cars, they're only going to get better, faster and more affordable. And then there's self-driving cars. Cars that can drive themselves using sensors, cameras and artificial intelligence. Sounds like science fiction, doesn't it? But it's closer than you think.
Cars have come a long way since those early steam-powered contraptions. From luxury items to everyday necessities, they've shaped our world in countless ways, and the journey's not over yet. The next chapter in the story of the car, it's just beginning. So buckle up, because it's going to be a wild ride.